Spanning for exactly 2 decades, the Fast and Furious series has reached its milestone of becoming one of the highest grossing franchises of all time. From 2001 to 2021, it has grossed over $5 billion worldwide and has reinvented itself over time from being a basic street racing series to being this high-octane action thriller heist franchise. Now, in F9, Dom Toretto is leading a quiet life off the grid with Letty and his son, little Brian. But they know that danger will always be ready to drive over their peaceful horizon anytime. This time, that threat will force Dom to confront the sins of his past if he's going to save those he loves the most. His crew joins together to stop a world-shattering plot led by the most skilled assassin, high-performance driver that they have ever encountered. A man who also happens to be Dom's forsaken brother, Jakob. Why didn't any of us know about Jakob? Because you couldn't see him. You couldn't see him anywhere in the shadows. I am so glad to be here on this part of the playlist for Fast and Furious Fridays to be giving you my review on F9. I was so happy that we got to this point in the series and that it perfectly, even though it was intended to come out in 2019 or 2020, that it perfectly lines up with the 20-year mark, marking the 20 years of the Fast and Furious saga. And it was a very timely movie and a time where we needed to escape. So before I begin, if you are new to this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment on the section below, and most importantly, watch it from beginning to end and leave your opinion about the movie if you've seen it already in the comments. And those for Instagram, the same goes to you. If you have had anything good or bad to say about F9, if you've seen it, you can tell me in the comments below. I'll agree with it. Maybe I won't agree with it. Who knows? And share it on your story with your friends and your family so that we can all ride together. And follow me if you happen to stumble upon this page. And most importantly, watch it from beginning to end. So, like all reviews, I'm going to be honest. Even if it's a film in my favorite franchise, one of the best franchises, I'm still going to be honest. I'm still going to point out the weak points, weak things, and the good thing, the strong points and the weak points. But with that being said, let's get into it. So it has been 8 years since Justin Lin directed a Fast and Furious film last, which was 6. He did 3, 4, 5, and 6, and he's going to helm the upcoming 10 and 11, which is a 2-part finale. And this actually marks the 10-year anniversary of Fast 5, which is what really had people hooked in the first place. Like, Fast and Furious started in 2001. It was basic. It was nothing more than just illegal street racing movies. But it was established. It re-established itself and reincarnated itself as an action franchise, a high blockbuster franchise with Fast 4. But it really embraced it all and told everybody and made itself exciting for Fast 5. And now it's been 10 years since Fast 5, and here we are at F9. And after getting delayed for a year due to COVID, F9 gives us everything that we have missed in this franchise, from the consistent wave of over-the-top action to the deep and grounded family principles, while continuing the story of the Fast Saga. F9 actually became the first film in the franchise where I was wildly engaged with everything outside of just the action and comedy. But to be honest, the idea of family gets questioned insightfully, just as I thought it would be, through flashbacks and the poor decisions made by Dom, the supposed perfect family man. And it causes the audience to kind of root for Jakob while knowing that he was wrong to do something diabolical to his own blood. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But for those who haven't, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but in case I happen to go into spoiler territory, watch this video at your own risk. I should have said that at the beginning, but watch it at your own risk. The moral behind the significance of family is not just a Toretto trademark, but a tradition. And we see how this tradition became broken a long time ago between Dom and Jakob. The value of family is put in the same position and given the same weight like Hobbs and Shaw, but here it helps to fuel some emotion from the audience. Now, as far as the comedy, the comedy is just pure gold, because the punchline to the real comedy are the funny moments that happen amidst the action sequences that would get acknowledged later on. For example, there's a moment in the film where it is made aware of how They have gone on insane missions in the past that are risky, but they are still alive and well without a scar to show it. I kind of like this humor right here because this was kind of used and taken advantage of in Fast Six when they were self-aware about the fact that they're going from street level races to they're going from being a street racing gang to being this like international task force, like superheroes. You know what I mean? Like secret agents with their own personalities. Like you got the fearless leader, you got the fearless wife, you've got the hacker, you've got the Joker, you've got the leader's best friend, and then you've got the computer nerds. You've got all these different members who have their own specialization. But I can say without a doubt that the high octane action is really at the peak in F9. Like it goes from being solid and risen in quality to adrenaline pumping and super inventive with the car stunts during the chases. Hence the magnets. They have taken out planes, trains, tanks, and other automobiles, APCs, and I'm not even going to think about the submarine. But there is so much, there is no such thing as physics, and nothing in this franchise has any limits. Not even the sky itself is the limit. Like if you're going into this movie with questions and with practical logic, let me tell you something. Don't. Turn that off. Throw logic at the window. Throw all senses of physics out the window. Throw this in your pocket and enjoy the movie, because this is the type of escapism we needed right now. This is my first time going to the theater since I went to see Godzilla vs. Kong. I will do a review on that later on when I started the Monsterverse. But anyway, I really like this theater that I went to. Not the theater. I've been to this theater. I've been to Regal Cinemas in Atlantic Station here in the ATL. But I like this audience that I experienced it in, because it's like I was watching it with real fans, not just moviegoers who want to see it for enjoyment, but real committed fans. And that was the best movie experience I've had in a long time since Batman v Superman. But speaking of which, speaking of the sky, we all figured that they were going into space. Like rumors were flowing online about people like, oh, the franchise is going into space. What's next? After seeing the movie, they're gonna cross over with Jurassic Park. I've seen those rumors and I just shook my head at it. I was like, come on. They're both Universal properties, but no way. But we thought that they did this because the fans were making theories about what they would look like. What would it look like for cars to be flying in space? For them to be using nitro boost rocket fuels in space. But only those who see the movie will find the reveal of space travel to be more pleasing, while the final sequence in the film is like a tears of pleasure moment. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I really did cry when they went into space, because I just couldn't believe this franchise would go that far to go out of this world. Because you couldn't have imagined this franchise going to such a length to deliver such a visual spectacle that looks way past the curfew of the franchise. Now, it's no surprise that the characters in F9 were great. Now, F9 has really got me looking at the Toretto family much different than any of the subsequent releases. We all know how the Torettos are about family, how it really means so much to them, with constantly adding formidable members to the crew of ever-growing international characters that come from different backgrounds and have specific skill. Like you got the Puerto Rican brothers, Leo and Santos, you got Hobbs, you got Ramsey, you got all these other family members, or if not even close family members, just associates from around the world. Like Cardi B, who I won't even tell you doesn't really play that much of a big of a role, but her cameo was just a pleasant surprise. And with Dom's love for family, you would think that he wouldn't have anything to do with how Jakob came to be. But it turns out that Dom, spoilers alert, Dom has made a mistake in forcing Jakob out of the family. I'm going to repeat myself. Forcing Jakob out of the family. Now tell me that doesn't sound like something that Dom would do. Like tell somebody, you better get out of here and you never come back. Like he wouldn't say that to Brian. He wouldn't say that to Tej. He wouldn't say that to Roman, not even after they failed or disgraced him. But it turns out that Dom made him a big mistake in forcing Jakob out of the family for being responsible for the death of a loved one. And this is the only void that has been sitting inside of Dom throughout the whole franchise. So it's not like this brother shows up without any explanation. There's clear explanation. We get flashbacks, and I love those flashbacks. I love the ones who were cast as the younger Vin Diesel and the young John Cena. I did find it kind of unpredictable to see Dom and Letty go back to saving the world in seconds, even while they are still parents. Like I thought this was a sensible but cheap way to get them back into going on missions by making sure the audience does not see Brian and Mia when they see Dom and Letty as parents. Because see, Brian and Mia, it took a lot to get them to talk them back into saving the world. But with Dom and Letty, not that much. You know, they would easily say, yeah, I'll ride. But what about little Brian? And that was something they had to think about. We had to think about. People who know that they do not want to do it, but have to do it. With Dom and Letty, it doesn't take much to get them back into business as usual, but it would have felt better if they treated the choices like it would cost them their life with little Brian. But then again, no matter what type of missions they go on, they are just lucky or invincible, as Roman puts it. The chemistry between Roman, Tej, and Ramsey, which I've always loved, by the way, when she debuted in Furious 7, has always been so iconic. Like those three have had their own triangle going on in this family. But the self-aware humor, again, about the suspension of disbelief and invulnerability makes for the best joke in the whole franchise since F6. Seeing the return of other characters like Sean Boswell and Twinkie, who doesn't even want to be called that in the movie for some reason, from Tokyo Drift was definitely a moment of and probably just for fan service. It does feel weird to see Mia return without Brian O'Connor because it's now, even though she was Dom's sister before she was Brian's wife, it does feel kind of strange to bring her back without bringing back Paul Walker. But even though Paul Walker has passed, gone but not forgotten. But since Paul Walker's death was synonymous with the characters retiring, her involvement as a Toretto still works for the Toretto family plotline. It would feel like an understatement to say that the roles that the female characters played were decent enough to match the awesome and more action-heavy scenes involving the big guys with the big guns. For the first time, Mia Toretto gets much more say in this plot than just being Dom's little sister, or the role of the mother, or Brian's wife. She helps the audience gain insight into her relationship with Jakob as well, and with her stating how close in contact she has stayed with him. Meaning she's revealed that she's actually did a long distance relationship with Jakob off screen in the other entries in the franchise. Some of the other female characters like Cardi B's Lisa, that's what they call it, Lisa, but they spell L-E-Y-S-A, Lisa. Helen Mirren's Queenie Shaw and returning member Charlize Theron as Cypher has little screen time, but they certainly had their slaying moments. Now, I'm glad that they did not pull a Fate of the Furious facade again, like with having Cypher manipulate Jacob the same way he manipulated Dom, because I didn't really want them to do that, because I didn't want the audience wouldn't want to see Fate inside of F9. But she was kind of there to give great iconic dialogues, even while she was locked up, if you know what I mean. As we speak, F9 currently stands at a 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, love it or hate it, there is just no denying how much thought and effort that director Justin Lin put into making F9 the best Fast and Furious adventure thus far, which due to how much escapism it provides with the fluid, inventive, and out-of-this-world action, an amazing ensemble cast and chemistry, and the emotional family drama at the center of it all. So I will give F9 9 S's out of 10. I will give it an A-, because like that was just the best movie experience I've had in a long time. Not just with the story, not watching the movie itself, but the people I watched it with. Sometimes those types of movies like Fast and Furious are best watched when you watch it with other people, but not just with any other moviegoers, but with true committed fans. Just like nobody likes to watch a Marvel movie alone. You watch a Marvel movie with other Marvel fans. Therefore, the experience can be up top. But anyway, that is my review on F9. If you have seen F9 today, which came out today, is the opening night. But I saw the pre-screening of it. I was so blessed to see this on a day before I expected to go see it on the opening night. So I'm glad I got that experience to see it with a very committed audience. But you could let me know what you think of F9 in the comments below if you've seen it already. And I'll see you guys later with my next video. Good night, and let's ride. Oh, and another thing, I just want to thank you since this is the end of this playlist for now until F10, Fast 10, and Fast 11 come, which are both will be directed by Justin Lin, and it is a two-part finale. I want to thank y'all, subscribers, for making the numbers really grow on the Fast and Furious reviews. Like those numbers have really hit 3 digits like on a regular basis, and I love that. I'm so glad. Thank you for helping me out. Movie Collector, if you're watching this, thank you. I'm sure you had something to do with this. But other than that, aside from saying thank you and thank you for the support and thank you for the views on my insight, despite not having any polish editing or anything like that, just raw camera personality. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you guys later.